we have word from Loui Eriksson. And it's not ugly. It's definitely not ugly. I don't think that disrespecting Loui Eriksson in the same joking kind of way that people have been in the past is really something that I want to do. I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to talk a little bit about the interview. Because at the Canucks annual charity golf tournament, I believe that's what it is, Loui Eriksson got interviewed by pieces of the media, and the province, again, it's always the province, coming in with these clutch videos. They just came in and uploaded the full media scrum for Loui Eriksson on their YouTube channel. On top of that, guys like Thomas Drance and Brendan Batchelor and all that stuff on Twitter are posting some of the quotes online. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this interview. Now, first off, immediate thoughts. Immediate thoughts upon pressing the play button. They started things off with a clip of Eriksson golfing, and I thought that was a little bit of a joke at first, but then they cut to Eriksson actually talking, and he was legitimately at the golf range, so I was like, oh, okay, that's not really a joke. But once Eriksson started to talk, that's when I kind of looked at it, and I was like, damn, I don't actually know what his voice sounds like. You know, the meme is that Eriksson wears his suit under his jersey so that he's able to leave right when the games are done and he doesn't have to do press, right? It's been so long since I've heard the guy's voice that listening to him talk for a few seconds, it kind of had to settle into my mind that this was Eriksson talking, and I was like, huh. I don't actually identify this sound with Loui Eriksson, but regardless, weird comments aside, Loui Eriksson had a lot of things to say, and a lot of it was kind of repetitive, and a lot of it was kind of him really driving the point home. And I will say that immediate thoughts, Eriksson is not the best at answering questions. I think that's a really weird way to put it, but in my opinion, just from what I saw, it looked like Eriksson was kind of nervous to be answering this stuff. And that's not me trying to attack his character or whatever, that's just me just responding to what I saw in this video. But regardless, they ask Eriksson about a lot of things, and rightfully so. Eriksson has been the subject of a lot of very, very strong opinions from the Vancouver media and the Vancouver fanbase, but they ask him in particular first off about the comments that he made in Swedish regarding Travis Green playing time and quote-unquote being on the same page as the coach. Brendan Batchelor has the quote here. The video is also in the description too, by the way. Me and Travis have talked about it. I think we're on the same page. I think it got a little bit overblown. It's not the point I was trying to say when I said those things. I have a lot of respect for Travis. So that was an immediate thing that Eriksson started off with. He actually says a little bit more, but a lot of it has to do with that same point, that he feels like what he was saying in one language was interpreted incorrectly into the other language, and as a result, the media harped on him in this English comment that wasn't even with the same intentions that he initially had in Swedish. So I think from that point of view, it's really easy to understand why, one, Loui Eriksson would be very reluctant to go super in-depth with whatever it is he's thinking about because of the fear that things could get blown out of proportion like they have been in the past. But Eriksson talks about Travis Green. He says he has a lot of respect for Green, and he says that training camp will be very, very good for a lot of players because everybody's going to be battling for spots, everybody's going to work hard, and Eriksson does just give off that strong sense that, yeah, he's going to play to his best, he's going to do his best, he's going to do his best like everybody else is going to be doing their best. And did I mention that he's going to be doing his best? Because he wants to stay and fight for a spot on the team. He says that he's confident that he can play in the NHL, and it's very good seeing that. I'd rather see the confidence in that than not. And I think personally, just me watching Eriksson and going through the motions and going through what the media has said, I almost feel kind of bad for the guy, if I'm going to be honest, because he's been harped on a ton, even just in my own comment section. Every time Eriksson is brought up, there's always a very strong opinion and a very strong majority opinion that's in my comments. But the interview takes a sudden shift when Eriksson gets asked about production. It's a very fair question. You know it's coming. It's a very fair thing to bring up, especially in the context of who Loui Eriksson is, who he was supposed to be upon signing in Vancouver, and where he's going from here. Because they ask him, hey, international success, old success, do you think you'll be able to get back to the same levels of success that you had before? And Eriksson goes very in-depth. It hasn't been working out the way it should be in Vancouver, he says. And he also says on the idea of him actually hoping for an off-season trade, I've tried to work hard. Done everything I can to work my hardest. Right now, I'm just focused on Vancouver. Now, there are going to be people memeing in the comments, oh, Vancouver, focus on Utica instead, haha. Nah, let's kind of not do that. But I think it really is just unfortunate listening to all this. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Eriksson has just been 100% snake-bitten. And that him being snake-bitten is the only reason why he hasn't been producing at the rate that we thought he would be when he did sign. And I thought he was going to be great. I made a video years ago why Loui Eriksson was a great pickup for the Canucks. And that video, I still get comments on that video today, people saying things like, oh, this worked out well, huh? And it's very bad in hindsight, but this is the part where Eriksson kind of gets a little bit repetitive with the same point over and over again, saying that he needs to work hard, and he's had a ton of coaches in the past, and he's been successful, and he needs to work hard. And they also ask him if he's been given opportunities to really succeed at the level that he knows he can, and that's where Eriksson says that he has been. He's been given opportunities, but the fact of the matter is he hasn't converted in the way that we hoped he would, and that all just ends off with the same he has to work hard kind of answer. You can say whatever you want about whether or not Eriksson works hard. I'll leave that up to you to talk about that because I'm pretty sure there are some very strong opinions out there. But it almost feels kind of bad to me, just watching these and looking at the media attention and people like going up to Eriksson's car in the parking lot and telling him that he's elite and the best player in the league. That was a very, very, very inappropriate but funny video if you haven't seen that already. But Loui Eriksson is an anomaly, I guess. We can just say that. An anomaly. He is the $6 million man. $6 million of average annual value, and he's got a few years left before his contract expires. And at the bottom of it all, the signing of Loui Eriksson is probably the worst move that Jim Benning has made as the general manager of the Vancouver Canucks in his entire tenure. That's not hyperbole. That's not me being dramatic. That's taking a look at the Vancouver Canucks as a whole. Who they are. What they have been. What they could have been. Taking a look at the cap. Taking a look at the on-ice production. Taking a look at the term. This is taking a look at all the factors that the Vancouver Canucks have to run a hockey team. And aside from being a pretty okay penalty killer, Loui Eriksson has been disappointing on all of those fronts. So if everything changes suddenly and he becomes a 20-goal scorer, 50-point guy in 2019-20, then I would love that. But the likelihood of that happening is very, 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 let's just say low. Let's just say low. And I hope that he's not personally affected by this in a very strong and negative way. Because being a Vancouver Canucks athlete in Vancouver is tough enough if you're facing the media. And being a disappointing Vancouver Canucks athlete is even worse when facing the media. Loui Eriksson has been on the worst side of that coin for a few years now, and I just hope, personally, that his nervousness that I saw in this interview goes just within the bounds of this interview, and it's not really affecting him terribly, personally. Because at the end of the day, they're all athletes. Sure, at the end of the day, they're getting paid millions to play hockey. You could say that Eriksson's getting paid millions to just skate around and glide a few strides. But they're still people too. So I don't want to be the guy here sitting here and saying that Eriksson is a terrible human being, because that's not what he is. I'm sure he's a great father. I'm sure he's doing the best he can. But as a Vancouver Canuck, man, it's been bad. Hope you enjoyed this video. So 99, and bye.